Alright, hey guys, it's Asha. Welcome back to Reading with Toby. Today I am so excited to bring you this video. I thought I would try something a little bit different. Today we're going to be planning my winter TBR, which I'm super excited about. So I'm sure you all have noticed that I have not been uploading my Zodiac TBR games anymore. I'm just not inspired by it anymore. I've been like reading more as like a mood reader, just kind of on the whim. I do have like books that I want to that I try to get to, but I don't know, it just wasn't giving me, it wasn't bringing me joy anymore. So I stopped doing it. Who knows, I may bring it back later, but yeah, for now I think I'm done with the Zodiac TBR games. However, I do have something planned that maybe I can incorporate something later as we plan the winter TBR. I know that doesn't really make sense. It will in a second, but I thought this would be fun because I do want to do more seasonal TBRs because I do like having a little bit of structure, or you know, trying to figure out what books I want to plan for the upcoming months. But I also want to leave it open because more recently I have literally just been like, you know what, I'm in the mood to read that book, and then I pick it up and I read it, and I read it quickly and I enjoy it so much more. I know, like, who knew this was a thing? So I definitely want to keep doing that and just picking up books as I want. But like I said, there are also books that I want to make sure that I get to in certain months, like we all do. So I have come up with a little bit of a plan. This is my little journal that I literally just write anything and everything in. I like very messily wrote out some things. So for the winter TBR, I'm counting this as December, January, and February, so the next 3 months. So that'll also take us into obviously 2023, which is exciting. For December, like the new year, I am going abroad. So for that trip, I have learned for vacation to take very easy books. Nothing too hard, nothing too deep, nothing too dark, just something very easy to read. So I have some ideas for that one, and then the rest of the months we will see. So the very first section that I want to start off with are classics. I have been loving my classics recently, and I have been loving more so it's just having one classic and taking my time reading it, not trying to rush to finish it in a month. If it takes me 2 months to read it, it takes me 2 months to read it, who cares? But I'm enjoying reading it and annotating it. So for the winter season, I think I came up with like the perfect classic. So for the winter season, the classic that I'm going to read is, I think, the perfect winter one, and that is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. I have never read a Russian classic before. I am so excited about this. Look at how thick this thing is. I'm actually not too intimidated by it. I think because I am super excited to read this. I know this is so many people's favorite book of all time, and I recently discovered Carolyn from Carolyn Marie Reads. I will link her down below. She loves her classics, and this is her all-time favorite book, and she just inspired me to read this book and gave me the courage to pick it up. So although it is a chunky beast, I am excited, and I think that because I'm like not pressuring myself to try to finish this chunky book in a time frame, I'm just gonna, you know, whenever I finish it is when I finish it. I think that feels, it's not as intimidating to read. It's definitely going to be the classic that I am reading this winter. I am so excited. This is the Oxford World, oh my gosh, I can't talk. This is the Oxford World Classic Edition, in case you are wondering. I love it because it is super floppy, like look at that. I do plan on annotating this book like crazy. And then I also chose this edition because it is the mod translation, and I wanted to read the mod translation. So the next section that we're going to talk about are anticipated releases. So there aren't too many anticipated releases that I know about. So the very first anticipated release that I am definitely going to be reading in January when it comes out, that is How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. This is going to be so epic. I am so excited. I have read a couple of Grady Hendrix's books before, and I love them. I think they are great horror books. They're fun. They usually have good social commentary, and he doesn't hold back, and I am so excited for this book. I love this cover. I cannot wait. But the other anticipated release that I'm super excited for is Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. This is the sequel to Ninth House. I loved Ninth House. I thought it was so much fun and dark, and I love Darlington. So I am super excited to pick up Hellbent. This will also be a book that I will be picking up as soon as it comes out to read in the winter season. The only other anticipated release that I know of that's like on my radar is Don't Fear the Reaper by Stephen Graham Jones. This is the sequel, another sequel to My Heart is a Chainsaw, which is a horror book that I have not read yet. I am not quite sure if I'm going to commit to reading it this winter season, but it's just something that's like on my mind, that if I want to pick up this next Stephen Graham Jones book, then of course I need to read the first one. So that is something that's like I may get to, but the other two anticipated releases I am super excited about, and I would definitely be reading them. And so with that, let's get into the books that are on my shelves that I know for sure that I want to add to my TBR. Okay, so the first one, of course, if I want to read Hellbent, I do really want to reread Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo before I pick up Hellbent. Definitely want to read this. This book took me a while to read, so I think that's why I don't remember too much. So I just want to sit and have a good time, and I think this is a dark academia is the perfect choice for a winter read. So this is definitely gonna be one that I get to this winter season. Okay, so the next one is one that I am going to be reading in December. I am determined to finish this book. You all already know I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but that is Moonwitch Spider King by Marlon James. My most anticipated release this year. I have not finished it. I don't know why. Let's not go into it again. But I will be finishing this before the end of the year. So this is definitely happening also this winter season. So the other book is one that I actually don't own, and I thought this one would be the perfect one to take with me on vacation, and that is Legends and Lattes. I heard this is like a cozy mystery. It's so much like fun and like a warm blanket, and I just think it will be the perfect read to take on my vacation. So that's another one that I plan to get to this winter season. Okay, so as for the other ones, I do want some literary fiction in there because I have been getting back into my literary fiction, and I realized how much I missed it because I was definitely on my horror kick. Don't worry, I will still definitely be on my horror kick, still reading some horror books, but I definitely want to have some really good literary fiction on my TBR. So I'm just gonna look through my shelves because I would like to read some that are up here that I have, and let's see what I can find. Okay, so up here is some of my hardback literary fiction. I'm seeing if anything catches my eye. Ooh, you know, I don't think any of these are calling to me. Okay, let's go down to the next row. So this row here is more like, I mean, there is like a little bit of fantasy, but these are like my short hardbacks, and some of these are also literary fiction. So let me see if any of these call out to me. Hold on, let me look at each one individually. Ooh, you know what? Maybe Normal People by Sally Rooney. Yeah, that one's kind of calling to me. So is Little Eyes by Samantha Schweblin. This is more of a like, I don't know if you would call it sci-fi. It was like more futuristic. That one is also kind of calling to me. Let me see what else. Is there anything else? Yeah, Real Life. This one here. Okay, so this one's also calling to me. Real Life by Brandon Taylor. I have been meaning to get to this book forever. Yeah, this one. Okay, this one for sure. I'm gonna add this one to my TBR. We're here on this shelf. Here are some more, like, these are more literary fiction, historical fiction, and then I have some book of the months here. I do need to reorganize my bookshelves, but I don't think any of those are calling to me. We can come down. I'll just slide this back in. Okay, so these are some more like literary fiction, and then these are classics, so I don't think any of those will work. Okay, and then real quick, let's just look at this shelf. This shelf here is more paperback literary fiction, and I really do want to get to Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel. This book has been calling to me, but it's another like thick one, and I don't foresee that happening anytime soonish, I don't think. Yeah, I think that's all we got. Okay, that's pretty good. Oh, this one. This is a stack of books that I bought recently. This one for sure. Let me grab it. Okay, so some of the literary fiction, these two are definitely calling to me to read this winter season. So the first one is Real Life by Brandon Taylor. I have been wanting to read this for a year or so, a year or two, because this was shortlisted or longlisted for the Booker Prize, one of those two. And this follows this black man in college, and he is in like a science major. He's working toward his biochem degree at a Midwestern university. He is an introverted young man from Alabama, black and queer. He has left behind his family without escaping the long shadows of his childhood. And I think this talks a lot about race and what it's like to be like probably one of the only few black men in his classes. Yeah, so I think this is going to be a very deep and excellent literary fiction. Yeah, I'm like really excited now. So this is definitely gonna be one that I try to get to real life. And then this one I'm also very excited for. This is Post Traumatic by Chantal V. Johnson. This is a new release that came out this year, and this is just another literary fiction that I know I want to read. This one you are following a black Latina woman. She is a lawyer, and she works at this, she advocates for mentally ill patients at New York City Psychiatric Hospital. And I'm thinking it's her dealing with trauma, her being sad, you know, my favorite kinds of things. So I'm super excited about this, and I love this cover. So yes, this is definitely another one that I really want to get to. And then these two were ones that just kind of called to me as we were looking at my shelves, as you saw. So not for sure gonna happen this winter season, but I'm gonna be thinking about them and maybe choose them. So the first one is Normal People by Sally Rooney, which I'm sure all of you all know about. I have not read this yet. I also have not seen the show, because obviously I want to wait until I read the book. So this is another option. And then this one is Little Eyes by Samantha Schweblin, and I believe this is a translated work, translated by Megan McDowell from I want to say from Spanish. Yes, Spanish. Okay, so this one is set in the future where there are these like little robot bears, and so you can like have a robot in your home, and then someone else from anywhere around the world can kind of like control the robot. And I know this isn't like lit fic, so maybe this is more like science fiction, but it sounds so great, and I've heard good things about it, and it kind of reminds me of like Black Mirror. Oh, it says a visionary, I just saw horror and I was like, what? It says a visionary novel about our interconnected present, about the collision of horror and humanity from a master of this spine-tingling tale. Yeah, so this one is also sounds great. Okay, so those are quite a few other books that I'm very interested in as well. Okay, so then the very last section of this, I thought to kind of incorporate my Zodiac Game somehow, because I do still love my cards, and I spent so much time on those cards and coming up with prompts. I thought maybe we could get a card from each of the signs of whose seasons it's going to be. So let me make sure I get this correct. So we have Sagittarius season coming, Capricorn season coming, and then Aquarius season coming, which is my sign. So what I thought, maybe I could like get all the cards from those signs, shuffle them, and then pull one card from each sign, and then maybe try to find one book that has like all of those elements. I think that could be fun. So let's do it. Okay, so I got all of the cards here. We have Aquarius, Capricorn, and we have Sagittarius. I got them. There should be 6 cards each, and then we're going to shuffle each deck. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna shuffle each deck. This is hard to do. Capricorn. So I have each of the decks shuffled. I'm trying to make it so you all can see. And then we're just going to choose the one from each deck, almost like a tarot spread, and then we'll try to find one book that fits all 3 prompts. Okay, so the first, Sagittarius, Capricorn. Oh no, oh no, I already see bad things. And then Aquarius. So as you see, we have Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, read a big book greater than 500 pages. So Lord. Capricorn, we need to read a book about an ambitious / determined character, because they're always doing the most. And then lastly, we believe for Aquarius is to read a book featuring aliens. And you know what? I think I have a book that immediately came to mind that I can do for this. 1 second. So as you saw, we pulled the 3 cards for each of the 3 seasons. And then as soon as I saw this card from the Aquarius, I immediately thought of a book that I think fits all 3 prompts and is actually perfect, and let me tell you why. Okay, so the book that immediately came to mind is this one here, Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Now, I did pull this before for a previous Zodiac game, and I got actually over like 150 pages. But I just wasn't enjoying it as much. However, I've heard multiple people say that the best way to read this is via audiobook. Now, I'm not an audiobook person. However, next week for Thanksgiving, I'm driving to visit my mom, and it's like a 7-hour drive. And I was like, that's the perfect time for me to get an audiobook. And I have been looking for recommendations for audiobooks. What do you think I should get? And this one was on my list to check out. So I think this is a sign that this is just the audiobook that I'm going to get. I think it's going to be good. I can definitely see as I was reading it why this would make such an excellent audiobook. It's very fast paced. And yeah, I think I am gonna like it more as an audiobook than reading it physically. And it's definitely, I think it's technically not over 500 pages. It is 476, but we are counting it. And the main character, like the scientist, I forgot his name, Ryland Grace, he's definitely ambitious. Is that him? Yeah, he's the main, yeah, he's the scientist, yeah. He's very determined to figure out what in the world is going on. So I think this is perfect. Wow, that was like meant to be. I love that. Okay, so this is the final book that we are adding to my Winter TBR. Let me show you the rest of the book, all the books together. All right, so these are the books that I chose for my Winter TBR. And then we also have the new releases that are coming out. I also have books that I could just choose at whim, and I definitely don't have to get to all of these. These are just the ones that I am excited about. Yay, let me put them down. Yes, y'all, that is the end of my planning my Winter TBR. That was so much fun. It definitely worked out. I had a great time. Let me know what you think about this video. If you have any suggestions for things that I can do for the spring TBR. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll catch you all in my next one. Bye.